Hello, my friends. I just wanted to share this little insight that came to me coming from one of our experience. I believe renting is the same as sending your kids to private school. Let me clarify. It's the same in terms of, maybe not in terms of value, but to me, it's the same principle. And it all comes back to one of our experience, right? Let me tell you the story. 15 years ago, when we bought our first house, we knew we were not going to stay there until our kids graduated high school because the school district in the area was not the best, especially the middle school and the high school. That we came to know that as we lived there, that we just decided, okay, when the kids get to the age that they need to go to middle school or high school, we're going to move to a better school district or send them to private school. Fast forward a few years later, my daughter is 1 year to go into middle school. So that's when we started thinking, right? We started measuring the cost. Is it worth it staying here and sending our kids to private school? Or is it's better to move to a better neighborhood with a better school district and better public school? And we decided to go with moving to a house in a good neighborhood that was tied to a good school district with good middle school and high school. Let me explain the thinking behind that. So looking at the numbers, right, we decided that sending our kids to public school, we have 3 kids, mind you, and they were starting with the first one. We're going to pay on average $25,000 a year. That's a minimum to send them to private school, plus having to drive them every day because most in that area, really, there was no transportation for the private school. So we're going to spend on average $25,000 per year per kid to send them to middle school and then high school, right? Private school. And then having to drive them there, pick them up, the inconvenience if you have to work at the certain hours. So it was going to change our whole life to do that. We saw the value in sending them in a private school. That's not the issue there. But we started researching good public schools. And we ended up that's why we ended up moving in a neighborhood. At the time we moved to Virginia, in the Fairfax area of Virginia. And what it meant to move to a neighborhood with a better public school meant that the house there are a lot more expensive, right? Because house value usually goes hand in hand with the quality of the school district for the most part. So the house there were really double the price of our current home. And that was the next best option given giving distance to job place and other factors. So it was going to be tight on our finances, but we took the plunge, right? We made the move, and that move did pay off big time because we now move to that new neighborhood. We paid double the price of our former house, right? To be in that neighborhood. And then the kids have access to, I'm telling you, the best school in that area. I said, of course, it came back to the numbers, right? Private school, $25,000 a year for middle school is what, 3 years? High school is about 4 years. That's 7 years. You have to pay at least $25,000. That's even assuming that the price is not going to rise up with inflation. And in 7 years, there's no way the cost will be the same. And then you have 3 kids. 25 times 7 times 3. I don't even want to imagine. And that's just money that you spend, and you get it back in value. But guess what we chose to go for? We chose to go for value, but put that money in our house. And let me show you how it paid off. So we paying double the price of our house to move to a better neighborhood. It's like putting that money that we didn't put in the private school into the house we're going to live in, allow our kids better access to a lot of other things because the area is built, has all those features and advantages, access to the good school. I'm telling you, there's value in public school, especially the right environment. Every school has its issue. Private school, public school, every school has its own issue. But at the time, that the choice that we made was the right choice, because especially my oldest, she got exposed to kids that were striving, like she was exposed to excellence. Till today, my daughter is a different child because of the environment that she was in when she was in that school, you know. And fast forward 4 years later, COVID happened. 4 years later, we decided to move to Texas. We just didn't decide to move randomly. We decided to move because we saw the opportunity to cash out on our investment in that house and also to get closer to family. About 4 years after our move, we were able to sell that house. In less than 2 days, the house was sold. Because again, top school district sells out fast. You know, that's why you have to be strategic when you purchase a house. So we made multiple 6-figure profits in less than 4 years. So people tell you every day, oh, yeah, it's better to rent. It's not, you know, you don't need to buy a house and all that. Like, seriously, I am so excited about real estate because of my experience. Time and time again, that making intentional move and being strategic about the way you invest in real estate will only return you profit. It will only return you profit. We got multiple 6-figure profit from that house. We live in there almost 4 years. And within the 4 years, we're making money with that house. So we're making money, and we had income from that house, pay our mortgage. So we were barely paying, like from $1 million mortgage, we're barely paying anything because we're making money while living in that house. So there are ways to make your primary residence an asset. Don't believe all the things people say out there. There are ways to make your primary residence an asset, but you have to think it through before you purchase the house. At the time you purchase the house, not after you move in and you try to figure things out and they might work, might not work. So be intentional about the way you invest in real estate. Be strategic about it. I don't know how much we saved not sending our kids to private school for all those years. A lot of us are striving today, and we came from public school. So would you rather rent and just spend that money like you would do in the private school for the same value that you own, and at least get equity and get also the same value that you could get in the with private education? In my experience, really, that's just it. Renting is the same as spending, putting all that money in private school, and you get the value of having a place to live in, but you don't get the equity. While owning, you build up equity, and if you are intentional and strategic about your ownership, there is no way you're going to go wrong. That's truly what I've experienced owning real estate over and over and over again. Imagine 7 years private school at $20,000 a year. That's 20,000 times 7. It's 140,000. That's just one child. Let's say times 3. 140,000 times 3. That is 7 years of education in private school, a very affordable private school. After those years, you've spent almost 400,000, and that's money that is gone. You just need to leverage the bank and hopefully qualify for a loan that maybe helps you get in a house that costs about 400 or 500,000, but then you get a loan to pay for the house. It's not even your cash. You need to just bring up maybe 60,000 to 80,000 to put a down payment on the house, like down payment and closing costs, of course. So you just spend about 60,000, let's say 80,000. You spend out of pocket 80,000, but that's a house you're gonna live in, and you're gonna take advantage of the public school. And then after 7 years or maybe 10 years, let's say the kids finish school in 10 years. After 10 years, how much do you think that house that you bought for 500,000 is gonna be worth? You're gonna have so much equity in that house. It means that when you sell that house, not only you get your 80,000 back that you put in that house, You also get some money that the house just accumulated just by being there, just by being a tangible asset. And while you were living in there, people forget that they live in the house. If you don't live in your house that you own, you live in the house that you rent for. So how much did you save being in that house? But when you sell it, you still get the equity back. You get something back. So renting or owning, something's gonna pay you back. Which one do you want to choose? Owning is not for everybody, that's for sure. But I'm talking about if you have kids, you build a family, and you want to be settled somewhere and raise your family for years and years, why not own? And then you have the potential to get the money back at some point. Like, think about it, like seriously. Anyway, that's just an insight I wanted to share today, and that's all from my experience. Real estate pays off, and it has shown me over and over and over again that real estate truly pays off. So don't sleep on it. So thank you so much for watching. I love you. God bless you. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.